Low profile, high power. The Thomsons may not be household names, but they control Canada's largest media empire and sit quietly on a fortune that dwarfs most. How did they build their empire? And why do they stay so private? Let's have a look inside the richest family of Canada, the Thomson family. But before we start, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. The humble spark. Roy Thomson's radio dream. What if an empire began with a simple voice on the airwaves? Picture a young man in the depths of northern Ontario in the 1930s. His name was Roy Thomson. At a time when many communities had no relatable radio station, Roy saw an opportunity. He launched CFCA, a small local radio station determined to give his neighbors a voice and a connection. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, but he had something more valuable than money: vision. He started with a modest transmitter and a heart full of belief. He realized that people craved news that mattered to them, stories from their own backyards. As the community tuned in, Roy's station began to flourish. That success planted a seed. He reinvested his earnings and brought up newspapers in a nearby town. This wasn't a desperate gamble. It was the beginning of a media legacy rooted in trust, empathy, and grit. Crossing oceans, Fleet Street, and a new identity. Could a determined Canadian truly conquer the mighty British press? By the 1950s, Roy Thomson's journey had taken him across the Atlantic to Britain's publishing heart. He bought The Scotsman, a respected Scottish daily, and soon after acquired The Times of London, a newspaper so iconic that owning it marked him as a force to be reckoned with. This wasn't just business, it was a statement. In 1967, Roy received a peerage, becoming the first Baron Thomson of Fleet. A Canadian-born journalist turned baron, no one saw it coming. Yet he never lost his humility. He was once spotted shopping at a local department store in London, paying full price, still humble to the core. This transformation, from radio hopeful to respected British noble, cemented his place in global media history. Kenneth Thomson, a veteran's gentle revolution. What if a war hero brought profound change to an empire built on ink and paper? Roy's son, Kenneth, was shaped by more than privilege. He was shaped by courage. He served in World War II and later studied at Cambridge. After returning, he didn't immediately join the family's boardroom. Instead, he started in a modest newsroom role, reporting and selling subscriptions. It was a humble start for a man who knew what hardship and service meant. When Kenneth became head of the family business in the 1970s, he faced a landscape in flux. Print journalism was losing ground. Rather than cling to tradition, he gently guided the empire toward data services and technology, strategic moves that would safeguard the family's future. He sold off old newspaper assets and channeled resources into new information ventures, setting a carefully planned course for his heirs. He also developed a deep love for the arts. Through personal donations and cultural support, he built one of Canada's finest private art collections. His generosity revealed a man who saw wealth not just as accumulation, but as opportunity to inspire and uplift. David Thomson, quiet power in a digital age. What if the richest man in Canada preferred quiet boardrooms to flashing cameras? David Thomson, Kenneth's son, inherited not just wealth, but a vision. He was groomed in quiet classrooms, taught the weight of legacy, and attuned to the subtle power of influence. When he took leadership in 2006, he had big plans but refused to shout about them. One of his most celebrated moves was acquiring Reuters in 2008. The combination of Thomson's infrastructure and Reuters' global news network created Thomson Reuters, a force in legal, financial, and corporate information. Under his stewardship, the company embraced technology, integrating artificial intelligence and modern data services into its core. It went from being a trusted information source to a central player in global decision-making. David's style is unassuming. Rarely does he appear in public events or interviews. Instead, he prefers boardrooms, quiet strategy, and steady, conscientious growth. Peter and Taylor Thomson, next-generation ambitions. Could children raised in wealth find their own way without losing their roots? David's siblings, Peter and Taylor, went a little off the beaten path, showing that legacy can be personal and meaningful. Peter found excitement in speed. A rally car driver and tech enthusiast, he co-chairs the family firm and launched Thomvest, a venture arm for new technologies and medical startups. He represents a generation that respects heritage but also seeks fresh terrain. His love for racing and innovation captures the modern spirit, fast, bold, and curious. Taylor, formerly Lynn, pursued law and had a brief entertainment stint before carving out her own niche in real estate and the arts. She nurtures cultural institutions, helps design community spaces, and steers property ventures, all while preserving the family's value of low-key influence. Together, Peter and Taylor show that the Thomson legacy isn't one path. It's many, each marked by purpose and quiet confidence. Sherry Bridson, the unexpected power player. What if the most influential member of the family never sought the spotlight? Sherry Bridson, Roy's granddaughter, quietly holds the largest single personal stake in the family's holding company, over 20%. This makes her among Canada's wealthiest individuals, yet she rarely appears in headlines. Her role is pivotal. While others take public roles, she works behind the scenes, ensuring that family control remains firm. Her voice carries weight in boardrooms, guiding decisions on generational wealth, business direction, and structural resilience. In this story, the most powerful role isn't always the most visible. Woodbridge Company, the private power bedrock. Why would a family build a company no one sees? Woodbridge is the central nerve of the Thomson dynasty. Based in Toronto, it's the foundation for controlling their major holdings. A 2/3 stake in Thomson Reuters, full ownership of the Globe and Mail, and investments in telecom, tech, real estate, and sports. It's structured to protect a private company that isn't forced to chase quarterly targets or public applause. Instead, decisions are slow, thoughtful, and long-term. Woodbridge gives the family stability, control, and the freedom to invest in tomorrow, not just today's headlines. From print to data powerhouse. How did a family known for newspapers transform into a leader in data and AI? The story of Thomson Reuters is one of evolution. That small radio station ballooned into a company with billions in revenue, thousands of employees and services that power legal firms, banks, and governments globally. They didn't abandon journalism, instead they upgraded it with technology. From legal research databases to real-time market data and compliance tools, they adapted to a changing world, proving that legacy can be a foundation for innovation, not a weight. A legacy of strength and subtlety. How do you keep an empire built on legacy alive for generations? The Thomsons' secret isn't flash, it's structure. Succession has been intentional and patient. Every leader was prepared, tested, and given purpose. Roy's grit passed to Kenneth's vision, which became David's digital mind. None of them needed headlines. Their commitment to quiet power, steady purpose, and intelligent strategy became their hallmark. Even as new voices prepare for leadership, the values stand strong. Stewardship over showmanship, long view over short gain, and private strength over public spectacle. In this family, lasting influence isn't loud, it's enduring. The emotional core, a family's journey. This story is never just about money, it's about dreams, duty, and heart. About a young man with an old radio, a war veteran who redirected an empire, a private billionaire shaping digital transformation, and two siblings charting their paths, all under the radar, but all powerful in their way. In a world chasing visibility, the Thomsons remind us that true impact can be quiet, deliberate, and lasting. That legacy isn't what you display, it's what you build, hold, and pass on. And most of all, that family, when aligned and unselfish, can become both an archive of history and a beacon for what quiet power truly means. So, what strikes you most about this story? Is it Roy's leap, Kenneth's generosity, David's silent command, or the next generation's unique drive? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay tuned. The Thomson story isn't over. In fact, the next chapter might just redefine legacy once more.